Happy New Year! Today we are talking about how to make reading joyful, or why it should be joyful and not stressful. I hope that you'll join me.
Welcome to Readers in the Making, the live show where we celebrate the magic of books and the joy of helping kids grow as readers. Whether you're a teacher, a parent, or just someone who loves fostering a deep, lifelong love of reading, you're in the right place. Each week, I'll dive into actionable tips, creative strategies, and inspiring stories to help you nurture confident, curious, and excited readers, one page at a time. I'm Trina Debris, your host and biggest cheerleader in the journey of building readers. So grab your coffee, your notebook, or maybe even your favorite book, and let's get ready to inspire the next generation of readers. And hey, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Let's dive in.
All right, so let's talk about why reading should be joyful. Let me introduce myself. I'm Trina Debris from Trina Debris Teaching and Learning and Readers in the Making. I'm super excited about this new challenge that I have for myself, which is to show up live every day for the month of January. So this is day one, and talk to parents and caregivers and teachers and anyone who has a deep love of inspiring students to really just have a passionate love for reading. And kids, and any kids in your life, or students in your life, anyone that you just know how very important it is to inspire that deep love of reading. So that's what we're going to be talking about. I'm going to be here every day for the month of January, even on January 1st at 9 o'clock in the morning. So for some, it's even earlier than that. You're probably not here and you're catching the replay. No worries. I totally understand. But I'll be here every day in January, and then this show will be weekly on Mondays. So hopefully you can join me. So let's talk about why reading should be joyful rather than stressful. So really the first reason is that stress reduces confidence. So when kids are feeling really stressed out and when kids are feeling extra pressure, their confidence level goes down and they start feeling shaky, and they are not performing as well as they could because their brain is not in optimal, ready to go, focused learning mode. And so that is not what we want. We don't want them to come at it from almost like a handicap. We want them to come at it from a fresh, exciting perspective. So we don't want to reduce their confidence ever. Confidence plays a huge role in how kids perform anywhere, in the classroom, on the field, in a dance recital, anywhere. We really want to focus on boosting their confidence. So that's the first thing we look at. The second thing is that joy drives motivation. When kids love something, when they're excited about something, when they're passionate about something, they want to do it more. They want to get better at it. They want to reach for the next thing. Their enthusiasm pushes them through what feels sometimes like a challenge or an obstacle. So we really want that joy to be the motivating factor. We want them to be excited about what they're doing and what they're pursuing. That will take them so far. The next thing is that reading should be an exploration. The whole point of reading is reading for meaning and to gather information, to have discussions about literature, to be able to recall and retell and synthesize and analyze and think deeply about the things in which we have consumed. And it's not just about being able to look at a word and know what the word is. It's not about how fast they can read, or if they're reading with expression, or if they're reading, fluently. We want them to know what they're reading, what they're comprehending. That is the goal. That's the whole entire point of reading. So we definitely want to make sure that we are motivating them through exploration, whether that is finding books that they love, topics that interest them. That's the first place that I usually start, is asking kids what they like. What kinds of things do they like to do? Are they really into sports? Are they really into dance? Are they really into video games? Are they really into technology? Are they really into stories that are similar to their own? Do they love to have characters that have, a sister and a pet and a who knows their Aunt Sally? Are they looking at books like that? Do they love to look at stories where they're really completely made up, where it's a family of mice, or if it's a family that lives on a magic cloud? Like, what kinds of things are they interested in? So that's really important, and that will help with that exploration stage. And I talk a lot about that inside of any of the reading things that I do. And I'm doing a reading workshop in February, so be on the lookout for that. I talk more specifically about finding specific books that match kids, because I really think that that is a huge key. I'll also be talking about that in the days to come in January. All right, another one is we want to balance work and play. We want kids to know that sometimes, yes, we're going to do a little bit of reading work, but it's not always going to be a time of drudgery. It doesn't have to be a time of drudgery, and it doesn't have to be forever. It doesn't have to be for 30 minutes. It doesn't have to be for an hour. It doesn't have to be for a specific time. I'm going to share a strategy about that actually this week. It's coming in this week. You'll find out what it is. All right, so we just want them to know that sometimes we're going to do a little bit of work, but we're also going to do it because we get to do it. We get to read. And sometimes changing just that frame of language, not it's time to read, we have to read, get out your book, we're going to read, but we get to read. We're going to read. Guess what we're doing today? We're reading. We're going to read about anyone. We're going to read about Mo Willems, or we're going to read about Piggy and Gerald. We're going to read about Lily's Purple Plastic Purse. That's one of my favorites that just came to mind. So we want to change our language to get kids excited and help them be motivated. So keep that in mind. And then the last reason, or last kind of thought of why we want it to be joyful rather than stressful, is joy creates lifelong learners. When kids love to do something, they want to keep doing it. When they hate it, they don't want to do it. So we want to keep that in mind. We want these experiences to be joyful. We want our brain, what happens with our brain is the last thing that was occurring in a time frame is the thing that we remember when we have to go do it again. So if we remember that we were trudging along and we had to get to 30 minutes, or that we hated the book that we were reading, or it was boring, or our teacher or someone told us we had to cover the pictures, please don't do that. That's like going to the movies and closing your eyes. Anyway, so if we remember it as a time of drudgery, the next time we go to do it, all we can think about is that drudgery, and all we can think about is how much we dislike that, how uncomfortable that made us, how unhappy we were. So we always want that last bit of time. We want all of the time, but we want that, especially that last bit of time, to be something exciting, something fun, something funny, even something that like evoked an emotion, a happy emotion, or even something that made us feel. And so we want them to remember that, so that next time they're like, oh yeah, they associate that with that being something that made them feel good. So that's a really important thing too. And that's one way of helping reading become joyful rather than stressful. I have a lot more to talk about, lots of things that we've done that have kind of hurt kids when it comes to reading and kind of turned kids off. I'll be sharing about that. Also, ways that we can turn it back on and get them excited about reading. I'll be sharing about that. Lots of things to come. These little videos, I'm going to keep them as short and sweet as possible so that you're not feeling like you're overwhelmed with content. So I'm going to try to keep them under 10 minutes, and I'm really close. I think I'm at like 8 minutes right now. So that's it for today, but let's do our very best to keep reading joyful for kids and not make it a time of stress and agony and upset. It's a new year. It's a new time to start a new habit. Maybe a new habit is, nightly readings. I know some people, that's stressful because it's the end of the day. They've got so much going on and it's hectic. And one thing you can do is maybe even back up your bedtime routine, even by 15 minutes, to give yourself a little more leeway. We don't want the best time of day to be the worst time because we're rushed or stressed or anxious or over or tired. So that's just something to keep in mind. All right, I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that if you liked this video, you'll like it below, you'll subscribe and become a Readers in the Making friends and family, and because I have something special for you coming. and I love to see you every day. So make sure that you share this with anyone that you think it's going to benefit so that we can instill a deep love of reading one page at a time. Take care.